Hey guys, it is Parker Cuban here, and today I'm going to be doing a tutorial on how to solve the Rubik's Cube, 3x3 Rubik's Cube, so 3x3x3, that's how it's supposed to go, yeah, 3x3x3, along the three axes. Yeah, okay, so it's just regular 3x3 Rubik's Cube, the default one, I don't know. So, this tutorial I'm going to try and make probably like a really detailed, simple tutorial, try to make it really easy to understand. And there's only going to be 3 algorithms that you're going to need to learn, which you can write down on a piece of paper. I also have a Google Docs I made about how to solve the third layer, which is basically where there are all the algorithms, which you will see in the very end. I'll explain a little bit later. So, okay, so now I have a scrambled cube right here, and let's just go through the pieces, the basics of understanding the cube and how it can turn and stuff. So if you already think you know this pretty well, I'll put an annotation on the screen to skip this part. Okay, so there are 3 different kinds of pieces on the Rubik's Cube. So there's a center piece, which can never move. It can never change its place. You can't change a center piece no matter how much you turn a cube. You can never change its center piece. They never move, they never change, so it's just going to be there. It's just one color, basically. So, then you have the edge piece, which is there, 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 there. They always have 2 colors, and they always stay in the edge position in between 2 corner pieces, because they're in the corner, and they have 3 colors. So, they can all, you can't change an edge piece. You can't like interchange an edge piece and a center piece because it just won't work if you get to understand the mechanism and stuff. Because, well, I guess I already have a taken apart cube. So here's a corner piece, and where's an edge piece? Here's an edge piece. So they're completely different things. Yeah. So let's get started in the first step. So basically what you're going to try to accomplish with the first step is how to just get in a white cross. So basically what I mean by that is, well, I have this example here, and it has a white cross completely done. So as you can see, it's like a T kind of, it's called a cross. So just what the Cuban world calls it. And so it has the edge pieces correctly aligned with their centers, and they are also aligned with the white center too, so on the correct sides. So these places, these edge pieces are in the correct place, so that's very good, as you can see. So this is kind of a hard step to do, so I'll go over a few things that need to be done, because this is probably the hardest part about solving Rubik's Cube when I first started learning. So let's see this cube. So we already have one white piece up here, so all we need to do to get, okay, so the first step I would say is to align this with its centerpiece. So this is not correct. And if I move it this way once, and this way once, so I just basically moved the top twice, and they are connected. So that is good. Now, let's go look for a different edge piece, white. So here's a white and orange edge piece. So the only way I could actually move it to get it out of the way is without moving this piece, because if you try to move it this way to get it down in the bottom, which is basically, I would say, prime position. So you want to get an edge piece that is in the bottom position. So this one's in the bottom position. So that means it is in perfect alignment to add up to the cross. So let's just say it was over here. All you basically need to do is turn it so that it is aligned with its centerpiece, and it is, and the color red and red are there together, which is perfect. So you turn it. See, there it is. You bring it up, and as you can see, we have 2 pieces that are correct for the piece, the edge, the cross. Sorry. So now what we're going to do is, see, this is flipped. You know, we basically need to flip this edge in order to have it so that this green piece can be aligned with this green piece so that we can bring it up. So now there are two ways you can do this. You can either turn it that way or this way. Now, there's one good way to do it in this case, and that would be this way, because the move is basically this, turn this side so that then they connect, and then you can just bring it up. And as you can see, by turning it that way, we did not affect that. So if so it's back down there now. And if I turned it this way, brought it up and turned it in, up, I guess, then we would have messed up this red, this piece, but we could easily fix that by doing that. So it doesn't really matter, just there's one easier way to do it always. So now we have this piece, so we want to get it on the bottom layer, and we can do that by turning it down, and just turning it as far away as we can from this, because we're going to want to put this back up to reconnect this piece to the white cross. And it is right underneath, so there isn't really a good way to do it this time, I guess. So we just turn it to either that side, we'll do this side, and we can do that, turn it up, and then here we are at the green piece, we can just turn that up. And so we have solved the white cross. So now what we're going to want to do is solve for the edge pieces, so that the first layer is done solved. Okay, so this is step 2, and it would be solving the corner pieces. So this is basically what we're going to do in this step. Put all these in the correct position. So solve the first layer, basically. That's what we're going to do, but we're going to solve for the first layer edges. So it's very easy. So let's get into it. So I say edges, I mean corners. Solve for the first layer corners. So this may look correct if you look at it like this, but it is not in the right position, as you can see, because it doesn't align. This is supposed to go here, and that's not correct. So basically the first step into solving these corner pieces is to find a corner piece on the bottom layer somewhere. So basically anywhere on this thing that with the white is facing out. So here's two right there, you can just automatically see. There's one there and one there, and I don't see any more. The rest is right there and right there. So I'm just going to choose this one. So this is an optimal position already. It's basically already an optimal position, 100%, in order to make it so that we can put it in the correct position. So it has the white facing out. Now that is very important. It's not facing down, which it can be, but don't worry about that now. I will teach you about that in a second. So to solve this, so it's a red and blue corner piece. Sorry, corner piece. I keep calling it edge piece, but it's a red and blue corner piece. So what we're going to want to do is put it in between. So it's in between the red and the blue centers, which it is right now. That is perfect. So this is in between the blue and orange, which is not correct. So we just want to put it in the correct position for solving it. And so this is a quick little move. It'll get really easy to learn. So basically how I like to think of this move is, so you want the white to be facing you. So you face it so that the white faces up and the white part of the corner that you're going to solve is facing towards you. And the other bottom part of the cube that has more stuff, you want to turn it that way, towards that way. So you'll see later on in a second that it can be on that side too, in which we will turn it the other way. But so in this case, we have it two different things on this side, two other colors. Not other colors, but just not the one that we're trying to solve for. So you want to do is turn it that way, bring the side down that you want to put the corner in, turn this one back so that the corner can align, and bring it up, back up, so that you can fix this basically. And well, as you can see, it is in the solved position. So now let's look for another one. This one is good. So let's put it in between the green and red centers. Now, as you can see, that is correct. I always want to have the white facing up, just a little reminder. So there is more other stuff on that side. So what we're going to want to do is turn it that way. Bring this side down where we want to put it. Turn it in and bring it up. Okay, so now we have 2 corner pieces correctly solved. So where's the other one? There should be one more somewhere. It's actually in the wrong position. So let's just solve for this one. So let's need to put this in between the orange and blue centers. So we do it by just turning it twice. And then we can see that there's more stuff on this side. So we turn it this way. And we want to put, so basically, yeah, this is where we want to put this corner. So we turn it that way because there's more stuff. And then bring the side down because that is where we are trying to put it. Turn it back and bring it back up so that it is in the correct position. And then for this one, I'm going to do something quick to mess it up just because there's one more case I want to show you guys. Okay, so I quickly just changed it so that, oh no, it's there. Where is it? It's at the bottom. So this can be frustrating because you probably have no clue how to do this, and some tutorials don't even tell you how to. But it's very easy. So what you want to do is just put it underneath where you want to put it, underneath where you want it to go, where it should go, and you can either have it placed facing this way or facing that way. It doesn't matter. So I'm just gonna have it so it's right there. So there's more other stuff on that side. So I'm just gonna turn it that way. Bring this down. Turn it in twice instead of just once, and then I bring it back up. And as you can see, now is in the optimal position so that we can insert it the way that we have learned. Okay, so that is how to do the second step. Okay, so the third step into solving the Rubik's Cube is to solve the second layer. So as you can see, this is what we're going to do in this step, is to put basically the edge pieces correctly placed where they need to go on the second layer. Okay, so let's go back to our cube that we are working on, and we can see that only one is already in the correct position, this one, because it is connected to the red and green center. So let's look for another one on the third layer. So they're either going to be on the third layer or already in the wrong place on the second layer, or maybe even in the right place. So what you're going to do is look for a non-yellow edge piece, so one that does not have yellow. Like this one has yellow, this one does not, this one does, and this one does not. So you just want to look for a non-yellow one because, well, there's no yellow colors on the second layer. It's only on the bottom layer. Okay, so let's just choose this one. So we found a non-yellow edge piece. So remaining with white, with the white face up, turn the top 2 layers simultaneously until this color, this red, has reached its red center. So now, if you look at the bottom, blue, it's got blue at the bottom. So the blue is either going to be on this side or this side of the red face. So as I can see, it's on this side. So I want to turn, it's a quick little move, you'll learn it very easily. I want to turn it the other way, bring the side down that has blue, fix it so that this can reconnect back, bring this up. So that is basically the move. And as you can see, by doing that, we have mixed up this, we've moved this. So basically, you just solve it how you normally would on the first layer. And as you can see, this is now in the correct position. So let's look for another one. Oh, I was going to say I couldn't find one, but it wouldn't matter. Because sometimes, there aren't any. And you basically would have to solve for one using the same exact moves, except, I'll show you actually, I'll just show you. But so for this one, let's just choose this one because it does not have yellow. So we need to match this with the blue centerpiece. So there we go, it's matched, and there's orange on this side again. So we're just going to do the same move, turn it away from the color, bring the side down where we want to put it, turn that back so we can reconnect that, and then turn it up to fix the cross. And then we basically just need to fix this piece, put it in how we normally would. And there you go, it's in the correct position. So now we only have one more that needs to go in there. Okay, so this is already connected to its correct spot, as you can see. So orange is not on that side, but that side. So we need to turn it the opposite way. Bring this side down where we want to put it. Bring it back so that we can reconnect the green with its center. Turn it up so we can fix the cross. And now what we're going to want to do is solve for this how we normally would. So turn it away that way because it's more stuff. Bring the side down where we want to put it, and then bring it back up. So as you can see, I just solved for the second layer. So now I'm just going to do one more quick little parody thing. Not really parody, but something, a case that you might have that might confuse you. So I'm just going to do that real quick, and I'll be right back. Okay, so if you've already solved for the second layer and you have not had any problems, such as this one where you may not have any non-yellow edge pieces at the bottom, but so like this, if you can just click on the screen and it will bring you to the next part, or you can continue to watch just to see how you would solve it. I probably would. So basically these two need to be switched with each other, but that's a complicated algorithm. So now what we can do to do simple moves, the ones that we've already learned, is to basically replace this with that, which is, let's just pretend that this is the orange and green edge piece. So we'll put it how we normally would, and just put its orange on there, because we want to get rid of this, right? So we turn it away from that side, bring it down, pretend to fix that, and then bring that up to fix that. Then just solve for this, how we normally would. And as you can see, we have brought the piece down that was there, and we can then just use this to put it in the correct position to replace it with that, basically. And then that will be down there so that we can solve for it. So let's just do that quickly. Solve for this. And there, we have one more. And green is on that side, so we turn it the other way. Solve for this. And the second layer is solved. Okay, so now we're down to the most difficult part of the tutorial, which is how do we solve for the third layer, which is this top layer, of course. So can be very difficult for a lot of people. It requires all the algorithms I will be teaching you. Hopefully you will learn, and yeah, so basically we've always been holding the cube with the white face up, so now we're just going to want to turn it upside down so that is the yellow face up, because we're just going to try and focus on the third layer. So the first thing you're going to want to try and do and accomplish on the third layer is to get the yellow cross. So just like the white cross on the first layer, except we want to make it yellow. We want to just have a yellow cross, basically. So it can be very easily done by only one algorithm, except you do need to learn a couple extra things before that. So you can either have it looking like this, like a bar. It'll be just a line across. You could have it so that it is already solved, like this is what we want to get. You could also have it so that it looks like this, a little R. I'll call it an R. So it's like, looks like that. Turn it around so it looks like that. Or you could have it so that it just looks like just one. There's no other yellow edge pieces facing at the top. So let's just start with this one and just keep watching. If it's a different, you know what? Give me 1 second. Okay, so I got it on this cube now. So if you have a different thing right now, a different case, then just keep watching and you will quickly learn how to do it. So with this white dot, what you're going to do is you can hold it in any way like this as long as the yellow is facing up, and we want to perform the algorithm front face, right, up, right prime, up prime, F prime. So now you can see that we've maintained the first two layers being solved, and there's a different case on the top, on the third layer. So it looks like the R now. So you want to basically hold it so it looks like an R. So that wouldn't be right, that wouldn't be right, that wouldn't be right, and this would be right. So you want to hold it like this and perform the same exact algorithm. Front face, right, up, R prime, up prime, F prime. And we have a different shape, a bar. So from here we can do it, you want to hold it just so it's like a diagonal bar, and you want to perform the same exact algorithm one more time. F, R, U, R prime, up prime, F prime. And as you can see, we have finally built the yellow cross. Okay, so now we have to align the cross. So this is the next step. So as you remember, so as you can see, this is aligned correctly, this is not, and this is not. So you can basically turn this without affecting any other layers, this top layer, the yellow layer, I guess you can call it. So you can turn it, so you basically, what you want to do is turn it so that two are correct. So there's always one way that you can turn it so two are correct. So this one, they happen to be next to each other. So if they're next to each other, which is most of the time, you want to hold it so that the wrong one is facing you and the other wrong one is facing the other to your right. So this is the correct one, this is the other correct one, and this is the wrong one, this is the other wrong one. So you want to hold it like this and perform this algorithm. R up to R prime, up prime, R prime, regular R, up prime, R prime, up prime. And as you can see by doing that, we have aligned the yellow cross with its centers. So there's one other, let me just get, okay, so this can also happen. There won't be just, so when, the two edges that will be able to align are not next to each other, but they are across from each other. So this is correct, and this is correct. So basically you just want to hold it so that any wrong one is facing towards you. It doesn't matter this way or this way, just as long as it's a wrong one and it's facing towards you. Perform the same exact algorithm. R, U2, R prime, up prime, R, up prime, R prime, and up prime. And then basically from here you can make it one more upturn so that they are two next to each other, and then you just perform the algorithm so that the wrong one is facing towards you, another one is facing the right. R, U2, R, U prime. There. So you can do it just like that. So now, as you can see, they are all aligned. Okay, so this is the second to last step to solving the Rubik's Cube. So what you're going to want to do is find a corner piece on the third layer that is in the correct position. It doesn't need to be solved, just in the correct position. So as you can see on this one, this is none of them are actually in the correct position, which is a pretty odd case, but it does happen. So as you can see, if this was in the right place, it'd have blue, which that's correct, but it would also be orange instead of being red. And it would also always just have yellow. So it doesn't matter where the yellow is facing, it doesn't matter how this is turned, but it just matters that it's in the correct position. So for this one to be right, it would have to be blue, and this would have to be red for it to be correct. Okay, so when it is like this and none of them are in the correct spot, what you want to do is perform this algorithm. You want to perform the algorithm up, right, up prime, left prime, up, right prime, up prime, left. So by doing that, you should find one corner that is in the correct position. So this one is in the correct position. As you can see, it's got yellow, green, and orange. So these other ones are not in the correct position. So you were going to want to hold it so that the cube has the correct solve, not the one in the correct position. So it is in the bottom right. Right there. So if you hold it like this, it's in the bottom right, and then you just have it so it's right there, right? Pretty simple to do. Okay, so you want to perform the same exact algorithm. Up, right, up prime, left prime, up, right prime, up prime, and left. And by doing that, as you can see, all the other corners are in the correct position. Now you may need to do that one more time in order to solve it. I don't think I need to explain it again because it's pretty obvious what you need to do. And then you are on the last layer. Sorry, the last step. You're already on the last layer, but you're on the last step too. So let's just get into this immediately. So this is a pretty good case for me showing you how to do it. So basically, it's very simple. All you need to do is have it so that the one that you're going to solve is in the bottom right position, how you normally would have it. And you want to do this one simple algorithm until it is in the correct spot, correct. Now, it may look like you're messing up the rest of the cube, but don't worry, it will end up fixing itself. Trust me. So what you want to do is that, let me scroll down actually, just so I can read what the algorithm is, because I just have muscle memory by now, which you will hopefully get in the future. So it is right prime, down prime, right, down. Now I just want to do that again. So as you can see, there it is, but it is not oriented correctly, so we're just going to do it again. One more time, I think, should do it. And as you can see, it is in the correct position, but it looks like we have messed up the rest of the cube. Don't worry about that. So just remember the face in which you started to solve that cube in. So because you only want to turn the top layer so that the next cube is in the correct position for it to be solved. So if you lost your place, you're probably going to need to restart the entire cube, to be honest. It kind of sucks. But you just want to make sure that you keep the same face facing you when you're solving for the orienting the last layer of corners. So now as you can see, it's in the perfect spot. Let's just do the same algorithm. Right prime, down prime, right, down. One more time should do it. And as you can see, it only needs 1 to 2 moves on how to solve it. So you can do that, and it is solved. Or you just need to turn it the top layers a few times or something. It should be very easy to solve from there. So that is basically how to solve the entire Rubik's Cube 3x3. So if you have any questions or something that I did not explain, just comment in the description. I'll try to answer it as soon as I can. So that's going to be it for this video. Please like, subscribe, comment for more, and as always, have a nice day.